I would suggest if you're just starting and you want to work geometrically and just kind of get your feet wet with the pattern maker and the way it works and the way that shapes and lines can relate to each other, there's a couple of things you can do. I'm going to change all of these to green. Let's change them all to this green. Okay. And then we need to change the opacity to all of those to 100. Okay. So let's move those over here. So a couple of things about color. Command plus. You do have this color guide, which I really like I said. And if you click on a color here, it will allow you to pick a color. Say, we'll pick this kind of pink. And then in the color guide, it will bring up the tints and shades for complementary colors, split complementary, analogous, high contrast, compound, pentagram, all sorts of the ways that colors relate to each other. So if you're not good with color, you may want to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to try something really simple like complementary colors. And this one could be like this one could be like that, and then they will relate to each other because of the harmony rules that you've set up. Let's go to the stroke. All right. If you're like me and color is not your favorite thing in the world, you prefer just to wear black, this is a way that you can stick to a color scheme. You also have cooler, okay? Keep in mind, these colors may be way too saturated to be on the wall. So you can always go up to the top, opacity, bring the opacity down, and you can change the way one shape looks over another by also clicking on opacity and trying one of these. Multiply tends to look kind of cool. And then it starts to build up a little bit of density, and this would not look bad on a wall somewhere. You could actually live with it. All right, so let's put that over here. One thing I want to show you is the Pathfinder tool. The Pathfinder tool allows you to create shapes and modify them. So I'm going to grab up, just make a neutral square with a yellow fill and one that's red. I'm going to copy this. Oops.
How do you do the copy?
Hold down the Option, and you see the little white arrow appears. I'm going to go over a little bit. Okay. So let's select two of these shapes and see what the Pathfinder will do. We'll select the first two and the shape mode Unite. So it took the front shape and the attributes and appearance of the front shape and applied them to the back shape. So now, if I hit Unite, that is now one shape. Cool. Let's try the next one. Minus front. And it did just that. Whatever was overlapping, it minused the front. So now you have this shape. And this is kind of fun because this is a way to do that Tetris design that is a little more playful, and you can kind of see how you want it to look. Grab these two shapes. We're going to use intersect, and only the area that was intersected. Right? So these shapes are pretty simple, but if we had something that was a little more exotic, you can get some pretty cool shapes. Let's select these, and we will use exclude. So everything but the center. Notice it's not keeping the stroke attributes on that. But I think you could do an entire wallpaper of this, just in different colors. You know, it'd be beautiful. It depends on what you like. All right, so those are the shape modes located in the Pathfinder window. We've got the next one is divide. And what that does is divides them all into shapes. So once it does that, you have to go to Object, Ungroup, and then you can select one, another, and another. The next one, trim. Trims that part out. Object, ungroup. Grouping means that they're going to move as one, and I want to move individual pieces. Select this guy, merge, object, ungroup. Some of them do very similar things. Oops. Let's grab these two and crop. Just gives you a little shape. Now we've got these two. Outline. Gives you the outlines of both of them, and then you could go back in and add a stroke. So that could be kind of cool. You are keeping the attributes of the front shape. If the yellow was in the front, you'd get those attributes. How do you move the yellow to the front? Because right now it's placed in back. You know, it's sublayers, but it's even simpler than that. You can go to Object, Arrange, Bring to Front, Bring Forward, Send Backward, Send to Back. You want to learn these shortcuts so that you're not constantly doing that. So if I hit, what is it? Shift Command bracket, it's going to go up, send backward and frontward. If I want to send it all the way forward or all the way back, I'm sorry, forward is Command right bracket, backward, Command left bracket, and then you can bring all the way to the front or all the way to the back. Okay. So I'm going to hit Shift Command, select it, Shift Command, right bracket, bring it up to the front, minus back, and if I ungroup, actually they do not group in that one. Nothing happened. I'm not sure why. Oh, because I didn't push it hard enough. Okay, and there we go. If I wanted to get this effect, but with the yellow, I'd have to have the yellow shape in front. So your shapes can overlap each other and can get to be kind of a little bit confusing if you're not sure how to move them around. So let's put a bunch of these shapes on top of one another. If I hold down Command and bracket, you can see it moves up and down. Let's even put more on here, like a big party picnic. Okay, so black can go all the way to the back, Command left bracket, or it can come all the way to the front, Command right bracket. So all of these can go Object, Arrange, send to back, send to front. And that's how, so you do not have to make individual layers for these. The idea is correct, yes, they are all sublayers, but I don't want to go in here and grab one path and drag it to the top because I don't have time for that. You know who has time for that? Nobody. Nobody has time for that. Okay, so to review, you can move shapes up and down in the layer stack or the sublayer stack. You can use the swatches. You can use the color guide. And one more thing. Got a rectangle. Let's grab the brushes. Let's add a stroke on that. Orange. Now, if you want your stroke to have a little bit of style, you can use a brush effect. These are just some of the ones that are preset. Right, so these are the brushes that are just the default. You can go into this little pull-down menu, open brush library, say open artistic ink, and with that selected, you can use different ones like this. You could probably make a pattern just using the a stroke in the brush. I like to sometimes just jazz up my stroke a little bit, just a little bit of jazz. Okay. And that could make a very cool kind of wallpaper. You can also change that up here. This is your brush definition in your brushes. You can also change the width profile. So really kind of subtle. But I would say play around with them. You can see that they change. So you have your width profile, your brush definition, opacity, stroke, fill. Up here, you also have your appearance panel, which is going to tell you everything that's going on. Your opacity is default. You have a dry ink brush applied to the stroke. Your fill, opacity. I think there are, you can also add additional things to this. You can apply different filters. Do not apply filters for now. It slows everything down to like a crawl. So let's just get the basic stuff first. All right, so that's the first couple of steps. On Thursday, we are going to go over how to transform objects, copy them, rotate them, scale them, reflect them, and then we will continue on going through a couple more fun panels and the pattern options. Yeah? Okay. So your homework for Thursday is just get started. Get started and consider, can you live with the color? Can you live with the scale? And on Thursday, we will also bring in couches from IKEA. We use live trace, and we learn how to expand appearance.